That's an update on TeamLease, where the company has gone shopping. They will be acquiring ASAP Info, which is engaged in the business of hiring, recruitment, manpower outsourcing and providing managed services of IT and non-IT staff. So basically in the same line of business in TeamLease, the acquired company has revenues of 63.5 crore for FY16 with an EBITDA of 11 crore. So that's a pretty healthy EBITDA margin as well, with a profit figure of 4.9 crore. We'll try and touch base with the management. Remember, the company had raised close to about 400 odd crore, I think, in February of 2016. And at that time, as a part of the IPO proceeds, they had indicated that we are earmarking 125 crore for an acquisition. So they've gone ahead and spent at least half of the money that they had earmarked for an acquisition. And the acquired company has pretty healthy revenues of 63.5 crores. So they've done it at an enterprise value to sales of 1. And the margins would be much higher than the margins TeamLease operates at. Because TeamLease, I think, has margins of just about 1% at the EBITDA level. And the acquired company, with a 11 crore of an EBITDA on a revenue of about 63.5 crore, would have EBITDA margins of 17%. So in that sense, the margins of the acquired company at I think 17.5% are higher. But we've got the management.
Yeah, we got the management. I can't live. That's Mr. Ashok Reddy, the managing director of TeamLease Services Limited, joins us. Hi, Mr. Reddy. Thanks so much for joining in. Rima tracks the company quite closely. She was just indicating to me that this is likely to be margin accretive going ahead. Could you give us further details? It appears like it's a pretty good buy.
So actually, as we had mentioned earlier, while we continue our focus on the element of organic growth in the general staffing space, we were looking at vertical growth into spaces that we historically didn't play. One of them was the IT vertical. I think we've just signed the definitive agreement to acquire ASAP Systems. It complements us well for an entry into the IT vertical. It is about 1% of our associate base. But I think the opening balance on which we'll be able to build for the future is really the bet that we are making. And obviously, it is a higher margin business. It will be bottom line accretive.
Could you tell us how much it will benefit your margins, say in FY17 as well as in FY18?
FY17 is difficult to talk right now. FY16, they ended with nearly 11 crore EBITDA on a 63 crore turnover.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so how much does it benefit TeamLease margins when you look at it on a consolidated basis?
So we will be acquiring 100% of the company going forward. I think the definitive agreement is signed. There is the element of closure which we hope to get done in the near future. And the bottom line, against the 1% margins that we have, the IT vertical will have a higher margin play, which will help the margin improvement.
All right, Mr. Reddy, what kind of revenues are you looking to do in the coming year? Last year, I think you did 2,500 crores.
Yes, last year was 2,500.
So this year you're projecting a growth of around 10%, 20%? What exactly?
We're not projecting anything. Historically, we have had a 25% year-on-year growth.
All right.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Reddy, what I was trying to get at is this acquisition contributes, it'll increase your top line by around 2.5% if I compare it with the last revenues. But if they do 11 crores, I think in the last full year, I think you did approximately 45 to around 50 crores. So in that sense, your operating profit will increase by more than 25%.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Reddy.
This is really where we're making the bet that it will be bottom line accretive.
Okay. This company, ASAP, has been growing at a fast rate. Its revenues have doubled in the last 2 years. FY14 revenues were 13.8, which doubled to nearly 28 crore in FY15, which is more than doubled in FY16 to 63.5 crore. Could you tell us whether this run rate for ASAP can continue? How do you see the revenues of the acquired company improving?
So like we mentioned, the IT vertical has a large potential in terms of outsourcing and associate growth, though in comparison to the general staffing, it will always be relatively small on associate-based front. I think they have built a good traction in the last 2-3 years in client base and growth. once we take over the management and the aspect of engagement in a larger way with the company, on closing, we will have to look at how we sustain and drive the element of future growth.
Okay, just very quickly, you had earmarked 125 crore of your IPO proceeds for an acquisition. You've spent only half of that. There are more acquisitions left?
Actually, just to intervene there, we had earmarked 25 crore.
Oh, sorry, 25 crore. Okay.
Yeah, so we had internal resources and cash accumulations also. So we are able to meet the element of the acquisition through cash available in the company.
All right, Mr. Reddy, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining in. So that's TeamLease making a pretty good acquisition. That's what it appears prima facie. With that, it's a wrap and chartbuster. Stay tuned. Trading Hour comes up next.